You know, some days just feel different. February 27th, 2026, that was one of those days. A date that I think we're all going to look back on as a huge turning point for tech, for gaming, and especially for AI.
And that's not an exaggeration. We're not talking about a small tremor here. These were foundational shifts, the kind that are going to change how we play, create, and interact with our digital worlds for years to come.
So you're probably wondering, what exactly went down? Well, in the span of just a few hours, some of the biggest players in the game dropped a series of announcements that, honestly, could change everything. Let's break down what happened on this wild day.
All right, first up, let's talk about gaming. The big theme here was all about making our games more immersive, way more accessible, and at the same time, celebrating some of the most iconic legacies in the industry.
And things kicked off with an absolute bang. After what felt like forever, Capcom finally dropped Resident Evil Requiem. This was the game that promised to take the series back to its terrifying survival horror roots.
And wow, did it deliver. It's not just a masterpiece of tension and storytelling, it's a technical monster. This thing runs at a crisp 1440p on the new Nintendo Switch 2, which just proves what a beast that new console is. Oh, and they brought back a huge fan-favorite character, and they're dropping 2 free story DLCs. Yeah, Capcom knew exactly what they were doing.
And then there was this number, 30. That's right, 30 years. 30 years since 2 little games, Pokemon Red and Green, launched in Japan and completely changed the world.
So to celebrate this massive anniversary, the Pokemon Company had some huge news for us. We got a brand new look at gameplay for Pokemon Legends ZA, and, get this, a fall 2026 release window. Plus, the World Championships are heading back home to Tokyo. It's the perfect mix of looking to the future while celebrating an incredible past.
Next up, Microsoft came in and tackled one of the biggest hurdles in gaming, expensive hardware. They pushed a massive update to Xbox Cloud Gaming, so streaming is no longer stuck at 1080p. We're now talking 1440p with a way higher bitrate. The difference, as you can see, is just, it's night and day.
So what does this actually mean for you? Well, if you have a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, your gaming experience just got a serious upgrade. This is a huge step toward making amazing-looking games accessible to everyone, no matter what screen they're on. It really makes you ask, why buy a new box every few years when the cloud just keeps getting better? But, as massive as all that gaming news was, believe it or not, it was almost overshadowed by what was happening in the world of AI. This is where the day went from just exciting to, well, truly revolutionary. We're talking about reinventing the very act of creation.
The first shoe to drop was a bombshell leak from Meta. We're talking schematics for a next-gen headset that show a completely different way of thinking about VR, and it's a direct shot at Apple's Vision Pro.
The secret sauce is this thing called a computing puck. Okay, so think about it. Instead of cramming all the heavy, hot processors and batteries into the headset on your face, Meta's moving it to a separate little unit. This solves like the biggest complaint everyone has about VR, how heavy and uncomfortable it is. And because of that puck, the headset itself can weigh under 200 grams. I mean, that is ridiculously light. But they're not cutting corners on the tech. We're talking the same beautiful micro OLED panels as the Vision Pro with insane eye tracking for perfect rendering. This is Meta basically saying, we can give you that quality, but in a package you'll actually want to wear.
Of course, Google wasn't going to sit on the sidelines. They dropped their own huge announcement, Nano Banana 2. And yeah, the name is a little weird, I'll give you that. But what it can do is anything but. This AI is about to completely change how we think about making images and visualizing data.
Okay, check this out. Imagine you just type in a prompt, something like, make me an infographic of console sales up to today. The AI doesn't just draw a pretty chart. No, it actively scours the live internet for the very latest data, and then it designs a professional, accurate, data-rich infographic for you in seconds. This is way beyond just making a picture from a prompt.
And then came the one that just left the entire developer community's jaws on the floor. A company called Anthropic quietly launched Claude 4.6, an AI model so good at coding that people are already calling it a coding juggernaut. So what's the big deal? Well, the key word here is autonomy. This isn't just a slight improvement, it's a whole new kind of AI. Your old AI could look at a piece of code and maybe suggest a fix. But Claude 4.6? You can give it a bug report, and it will scan the entire codebase, find the problem, write the code to fix it, test that fix, and then submit it for review, all by itself.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. We have officially moved past AI being just a tool we use. This is AI as an agent, a collaborator. It can function like a junior member of a software team, taking on complex tasks that, until now, only a human could do. So, let's take a deep breath. When you put all the pieces of this incredible day together, what does it all actually mean for us, for the future?
What we saw were basically two revolutions happening at the exact same time. On one hand, gaming took a huge step forward, becoming more beautiful, easier to access, and richer. And on the other hand, AI just accelerated into a new era, becoming a true creative partner, with brand new hardware and autonomous abilities.
And that just leaves us with this one giant, profound question. On a single day, when our technology got so much smarter, so much more capable, it makes you look ahead. As AI starts to genuinely create our entertainment and build our tools, what's left for us? What becomes the next great human challenge and the next great opportunity?